In the last class we discussed about the non-ideal effects of BJT. In that discussed the base width modulation, emitter narrowing, bandgap narrowing, and non-uniform base doping. After that we discussed about the different breakdown mechanisms in BJT. In that, punch through or reach through. Second one is avalanche breakdown mechanism. Today we'll discuss about the operating point and what is the necessity of biasing, need for biasing, and stability factor, along with DC and AC low line of BJT. We already know transistor can be operated in three regions, that are cutoff, active, and saturation, by applying the proper biasing conditions. Yes. So when emitter and collector junction both are in reverse bias, we can say it is cutoff region. When emitter junction is forward bias, collector junction is in reverse bias, then the region of operation is active region. When emitter and collector both are in forward bias, then region of operation is saturation. When emitter is reverse, collector is forward, then it is inward active region. Yes. So we know the main application of the transistor is amplifier. So to use the BJT as amplifier, we must operate this BJT in active region. Yes. So now we need to know biasing. Yes. Biasing is nothing but applying the external DC voltages and currents to the two junctions of BJT to operate in desired region. Yes. So in order to operate transistor in the desired region, we have to apply the external DC voltages and currents. Yes. This is called DC biasing of transistor. Why we need to apply the biasing? What is the necessity? Yes. To operate the transistor in desired region and to get the output signal power greater than the input power. That means transistor, the main application is amplifier. So amplifier is nothing but increasing the strength of the input signal. That means the output signal strength is more compared to the input signal. Yes. So the need of the biasing is nothing but to operate the transistor in desired region. That means it is in active region. And second point, to get the output signal power greater than the input signal. Yes. So when we bias a transistor, we establish a certain current and voltage conditions for the transistor. These conditions are known as operating conditions or DC operating point or Q point. So what are the required voltage and currents for the transistor to operate in desired region? These conditions are operating conditions or DC operating point or quotient point or Q point. However, Q point shifts with changes in the transistor parameters such as beta, reverse saturation current, and VBE. Yes, these parameters are temperature dependent. The Q point also varies with the temperature. So these three parameters, beta, ICO, and VBE, are temperature dependent parameters. So when temperature changes, these parameters will change. This parameter will changes, then Q point will change. So Q point is also varying in the load line. So the stability factor indicates the degree of change of Q point due to the variation in beta, ICO, VBE. So how can we define this? Q point is not stable because it is varying with the transfer parameters, that are beta, it is forward current gain, and ICO is reverse saturation current, VB is voltage between the base to emitter. Yes, this operating point is shifting with the transfer parameters that are forward voltage, forward current gain, reverse saturation current, and base to emitter potential. So these three parameters are dependent of temperature. So when temperature increases or when temperature changes, these three parameters will change. When these three parameters will change, Q point will again shifting on DC low line. Yes. So firstly we need to stable these three parameters. Yes. Why? Because these three are varying with the temperature. To make them stable with the temperature, that is defined with the stability factor. So stability factor indicates that degree of change in Q point due to the variation in beta, ICO and VB. Yes, is indicated by the stability factor. Clear? So first we need to know about the DC low line. So this DC low line is always drawn between the current and voltage. It's nothing but output characteristics of CE. Why? Because we are always preferring the CE configuration is the best for the audio amplification. So here always I'm taking example as CE only. Yes, DC low line is straight line plotted on IC versus VC. So IC versus VC is nothing but output current and output voltage. So it is about output characteristics of CE. So these output characteristics of CE. So DC low line is always drawn on the output characteristics of CE configuration. So you can observe a circuit diagram. Here I am taking one example circuit. So here I am applying the KVL to the collector loop. In this we can write VCC minus VCC plus ICRC plus VC equals to 0. From this we can write IC equals to output current equals to minus 1 by RC into VCE plus VCC by RC. This is equation number 1. We know the straight line equation y equals to mx plus c. This is equation number 2. So by comparing the equation 1 and 2, we can say the slope of the line is m equals to minus 1 by RC. Yes. Here m equals to minus 1 by RC. So DC low line can be drawn by determining the 2 points on line. So by considering the current equals 0, we can find the x-axis voltage. By considering the voltage equals 0, we can find the y-axis current point. So by considering the IC equals 0, then VC equals to VCC. So by substituting the IC equals 0 in the equation number 1, we can get VC equals to VCC. It is point A. Similarly, VC equals 0, then IC equals to VCC by RC. It is point B. So by connecting these 2 points, you can observe that line is called DC low line. Yes. So here the DC low line we represented the 3 points for the different IB values. Why? Because the output characteristics are drawn between the IC and VCE by considering the constant IB values for the different IB values. So now we represented the 3 points that are P, Q, R. Here P point is closer to the saturation region and Q is present in the middle of the active region and R is closer to the cutoff region. Yes, and similarly we can apply the KVL in base loop. So here VCC minus IBRB minus VB equals 0. So we can write IB equals to VCC minus VB by RB. Yes. So here I am given two circuit diagrams. You may have doubt. So here in first diagram I am using capacitors C1 and C2. In second diagram I am not considering any capacitors. So when I am considering the DC, that means for DC all the capacitors are not considered. Yes. Why? Because this when you are applying the DC voltages to the capacitors open circuited. Yes. So we can neglect that C1 and C2. Clear. Due to the higher impedance, higher reactance, we can get the C1 and C2. So the equivalent circuit of this amplifier is without capacitors. For a given IB, the point of intersection of characteristic curve DC low line is called operating point. So we drawn the DC low line on output characteristics of CE. So for a particular IB value where the DC low line touches the output characteristics, that particular point is called Q point, operating point, or bias point. So the coordinates of that operating point is always DC values, that is x-axis voltage and y-axis current. It's nothing but VCE comma IC value. Yes, VC is the operating voltage and IC is the operating current of BJT irrespective of BJT configuration. So when IB varies, then operating point will move along the low line. So I said, so PQR are the 3 points on the DC low line by the different IB values. Yes, so when IB varies, operating point will also move along the low line. Hence, low line is called locus of operating point. Yes, why? Because this when IB varies, operating point is also varies along the low line. So this low line can be called as a operating point, the locus of the operating point. So in a BJT amplifier, operating point is kept at the center of the low line. Why? Because I said 3 points, that are P, Q, R. P is closer to the saturation region, Q is middle of the active region, and R is closer to the cutoff region. So to operate the BJT as amplifier, we must keep the transistor in active region. Yes, so we must keep the operating point at the center of the active region of low line. Then we can obtain the distortionless output. So when we are keeping the operating point at the middle of the active region, then we can get the distortionless output. If operating point is kept near to the saturation region of load, then collector current is clipped at the positive off cycle. Then we can get the output with clipping of positive off cycle. So if operating point is kept near to the cutoff region, then collector current is clipped at the negative off cycle. So amplifier is nothing but increasing the strength of the signal without changing the shape of the signal. Yes. So here when you are keeping the operating point at the middle of the active region, then we can get the distortionless output without changing the shape of the shape. So whatever given the sine signal, you can get the output also sine signal. Yes. So when the operating point shifted towards to the saturation region, that means at point P, then positive off cycle, it is clipping off. Yes, when operating point is shifting towards to the R point or towards to the cutoff region, then negative off cycle is clipping off. So you will get the distortion when it is moving towards to the saturation or towards the cutoff region. That's why we are always choosing the operating point at. You can observe the for different points in the DC loan. Operating point is present in the different positions. So first diagram indicates the when it is in operating point at point P, it is closer to the saturation region. So positive off cycle is clipping off. So here we are applying the sine signal. So we can get the output signal as positive clipped off cycle, positive clipped wave. And second, we can observe the when it is closer to the, that means operating point is closer to the cutoff region, that means at R position. So we are applying the sine signal. Here the negative off cycle is clipping. Yes, when I consider the at midpoint of active region, that means Q, then we are applying the sinusoidal signal here, then we will get the sinusoidal signal. Here we are getting the without changing the shape of the input signal. So that's why we are always choosing the operating point middle of the active region. When it is moving towards saturation, positive off will clip. When it is moving towards cutoff, negative off cycle will clip. Yes. So how can we find the region of operation of BJT? So for that we need to assume the initial first step, BJT is in saturation region. So if it is in saturation region, we can say these are the standard values for NPN transistor. Vc equals to Vc sat equals to 0.1 for germanium, zero point 0.2 for silicon, and Vb sat Vb equals to 0.3 for germanium, zero point 0.8 for silicon. Then after we need to calculate the IB and IC value independently. That means current, base current and collector current. Then after calculate the minimum base current need to operate BJT in saturation region. So we assume that our BJT in saturation region. Further we need to calculate the minimum base current needed to operate in BJT in saturation region. That is nothing but IB minimum equals to IC sat by beta value. Yes. So after finding these three steps, then we need to compare the IB value and IB minimum value. When IB is greater than or equals to IB minimum value, BJT is in saturation region. If IB is less than IB minimum, then BJT is in active region. If IB is negative, then we can say the BJT is in cutoff region. By using these steps, we can find the given BJT is in which region of operation, whether it is saturation or cutoff area active region. Problem in this, we are having this circuit. Here in this circuit we have given the beta value VB set and VC set 0.2. Find the region of the operation. Yes, so whatever given the previous slide, the same steps you can follow by comparing the last IB and IB min values. You can say in which region it is operating. Yes, these two are homework for you. Next we will discuss about, so here considering the C amplifier with capacitors. So in AC analysis, the capacitors are short circuited. In DC, they are open circuited. Here AC short circuited, and DC sources are acts as a short circuit here. So the equivalent C amplifier is given beside it is short circuit in the capacitors, and DC sources are also short circuited. Yes, this collector circuit resistance seen by the DC source, it is DC current ICQ is RDC equals to RC. Yes, the collector circuit, from the collector side, resistance seen by the DC current, it is ICQ is, you can observe ICQ is RDC, the resistance is RC only, collector resistance only. However, from figure B, it is clear that collector signal current IC sees a collector current resistance, it is AC resistance, it is nothing but RC is parallel to the RL load resistor. So it is nothing but RC RL by RC plus RL. By applying the cable to the collector circuit of the AC equivalent, then VC equals to what we can write? VC is nothing but voltage between the collector to emitter, it is equals to IC into RAC, it is AC equivalent. Yes, VC is the output AC voltage equals to IC into RAC. So where VC is the AC collector to emitter voltage and IC is the AC collector current. It is in AC analysis. Yes, since IC equals to a capital I suffix small c equals to small I capital C minus ICQ, and VC equals to VCQ minus VCU. Yes, so what we can write, total current IC equals to AC current plus DC current. Yes, and similarly VC equals to VCQ minus VC. So equation 1 becomes what we can write. We are replacing this VC with VCQ minus VCE equals to IC minus ICQ into RAC. This is equation. Small I capital C is the total instantaneous collector current, and small v capital C is the total instantaneous collector to emitter voltage. So by rearranging the equation number 2, we can write IC equals to VCQ by RAC minus VCE by RAC plus ICQ. This is equation number 3. So again we need to find the AC load line like DC load line. For that we need to consider the total instant current, collector current IC equals 0. One time you will get the VCE value. By considering the total instantaneous collector to emitter voltage VC is equals to 0, then you will get the IC value. So it is similar to DC low line also. Yes.